Hello, welcome, and thanks everyone for joining us for our AACG Friday meetup on October the 30th, 2020. Today we are thrilled to have Habatat Gallery and Aaron Shea present the exhibit that's currently on now, and this is a preview for all of our AACG members. So Aaron, do you want to take it away?
I would love to. Thank you so much, Marilee, and thank the AACG so much for joining me today. I'm super excited about today, and I'm honored to have all these artists join us to talk about their work. I'll give you a little background on the Glass Art Fair. Early on in the pandemic, we didn't know what the future is going to hold, and we all learned quickly that it's safe to view artwork from our homes. And we started to get approached by art fairs to do these digital fairs. There was Art Aspen and a few others that came down the pipeline, and then we realized art fairs are great when you're there in person, but if you're online, what do they really offer you other than the fact that they're mailing out to people? So we decided to start our own art fair called the Glass Art Fair. And we invited artists from around the world to participate in this art fair. And it's a little different from an average art fair because instead of having galleries, we're representing our artists directly. And there's a ton of potential with this art fair and about others about for the future, about planning for where it's going to go from here. And we'll be having a talk tomorrow via Zoom meeting for Habatat Zoom. You're welcome to join me and email me and join us with the artists just to talk about the future, the artwork on display, and we'd love to get your feedback. There's going to be some fun question answers for those who have looked at the site and done homework. So again, thank you so much for joining us. And I will start by taking over your screen, making sure I have permission. And I will start my little presentation here. Here, we're going to kick out of the screen and get back to Zoom, and I will share this one. Start. Okay, here we go. So Glass Art Fair 2020. Hope you guys have all previewed the site. If not, you're welcome to. The AACG has their own password for today. It is your exclusive to look at the site before there's a day tomorrow for museums to send to their members of their VIP Day Saturday, and then it goes live on Sunday for all to see. A little background about SOFA. If you haven't heard it all, SOFA is now called Intersect, and they only limited each gallery to show 20 pieces per gallery. And that didn't really work for us, being the fact that we have a lot of artists to show. We are participating in the SOFA show, now called Intersect, with two shows, one for Habatat, one for Habatat Estates resale. You'll see that all on the VIP day on the 5th. So let me kick over to the screen. Again, big thank you to AACG members for supporting what we all love and enjoy together. And thank you again to the Artists and Habatat family for showing up, being part of this exhibition, working with me to get these artworks on display, and I hope you guys have enjoyed it so far. Here's a couple of our banners. So to create awareness for this fair, we had all our artists share their own banners, make them for social media and Instagram, hopefully creating a pull for younger audiences to come see us and what we're doing. And I'm hoping this idea grows from here, and I'm seeing some other art fairs actually take this idea and kind of run with it. So I'm glad that this kind of thing is interesting enough for professional art fairs to pick up on. And you may have seen some of these on social media. They're just very, very fun of the artists showing details of the work to create interest into glass art. And there's Paul. I love Paul's work. I hope you enjoyed his talk we had recently, and a beautiful work by Zinsky. Some of these works, most of the works are from the artist. There are a few secondary market works squeezed in there as well for artists like Michael Glancy, who is no longer with us. So you'll have a chance to explore a lot of the artists that we all love. Oh, there's Dean. So again, you have your VIP pass in your AACG email, so make sure to check it out. This is the very first Glass Art Fair, so thank you for being here. So here's a little background. It's a new online experience to drive general awareness to the art medium. And we put this out in terminology for people who will first come, who aren't so experienced in glass, to get an idea about the Glass Art Fair and about the glass art world. This is posted on the webpage. So if you've been to the site, you may have seen the banner. This is just a quick glance at the webpage. As an introduction, a blog that is used for SEO to drive people to the site through Google and whatnot, and contact. It's very simple, but has lots of potential to grow. So hopefully we'll have Shelly back on here in a second. Are you around, Shelly? I know you had to reboot your computer. You just texted me, of course, in our presentation. But if you're not here, we will skip to the next artist and come back to you once you show up. I will text you in a second. Second artist in the exhibition, and there's many works by artist Dean Allison. We had a talk with Dean recently. Many of you are familiar with Dean's work. He is an unbelievable talent. He is scheduled for a show we're doing next year called Not Grandma's Glass, which is a 12-month exhibition, one artist per month, 12 artists who are pushing the art, a glass art medium beyond. And we're excited to start talking about that later this month. Dean's work, usually homages of people or people he knows. He does obviously castings of individuals as well as their forms creating mood. He is someone Habatat really stands behind, and we're honored to have him in our family. And if you like work that's a little more literal, there's nobody better to have in your collection because it's so realistic than Dean Allison. So keep your eye out for him. Many of you have his work and love him, and I expect him to be an important part of the glass art future. Artist Michael Behrens, are you here, Michael? I had you on my list as possibly showing up.
Hello, Aaron. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Michael. Welcome, welcome.
Hello, how are you doing? Everybody, nice meeting you. Everybody from the AACG around Europe and around the States. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. Yeah, sorry, we have here in Germany or Europe, it's 6 o'clock in the evening.
Right, it is. So thank you for joining us. Michael, will you tell us just a little bit about yourself and about the work?
I'm Michael Behrens from Germany.
Hold on, Michael. Someone's decided to take over the screen. I'm going to share it again and take it back. Hopefully this won't be an issue in the future. Go ahead, Michael. Sorry about that.
So I'm Michael from Germany. Mainly most of you know my work. I'm working with glass, of course, kiln casted glass. I'm working like a sculpture, like the source of inspiration is the underwater world. And I'm trying to give kind of a movement into the pieces of glass, and also nature is the source of my inspiration. So I think it's everybody's able to see it in the pieces, like the one which you are able to see on the screen right now.
Yes, Michael, it's a beautiful work. Michael works at different scales and sizes. He's one of our most successful artists we offer through the gallery. And you're able to see his talent in this piece. And it's always amazing to see the detail of his work up close. And the photos don't really do them justice because they are amazing. And they really bring you under the water and into his world. Thank you, Michael, so much.
Yeah, like Aaron, like you have said, it's difficult to see the dimension from the pieces. Like some are like 10, 15 inches and some are like 50 inches high. So you can browse through it. On the amazing website you have done, Aaron, I want to thank you for the amazing work. I know it was lots of work and it's looking really great.
Thank you, Michael. I appreciate that. And thank you for being here.
Yes.
And Michael's also available to talk to should you have an idea for a piece, a commission. Michael is extremely professional and we're honored to have him. Thank you, Michael.
Nice meeting all of you.
Next artist in the presentation is Marlena Rose. I know I saw her here. Why don't you join us, Marlena?
Hi.
Good to have you.
So nice to see all my glass friends, collectors, friends. Thank you so much, Aaron, for doing this.
You're most welcome.
Really
you are quite busy. I just watched a video of you in Imagine with an exhibition down there. That's amazing. You're always doing something.
50 new pieces. I've been a little busy.
It's amazing.
22 of those were butterflies, and it just kept me busy during this very strange time.
Yes, if you have an opportunity to go visit the Imagine Museum and see Marlena Rose's presentation, please do it. Marlena, will you tell us about your work a little bit about this piece?
Absolutely. This is called My Lady Buddha, and this is a new body of work. I've really pushed myself on the mold making technique here. This is made in clay initially, and then made into a plaster stamp. It's quite large. It's about 52 inches tall. It's exciting going back to a more classical Buddha and really working on the detail of the robes and the face. So this, we pushed ourselves technically with such a large piece with the technique that I use, lifting the hot molten glass out of a sand mold, picking it up and putting it into a cooling oven. I'm sort of limited on what we can pick up. And this one pushed us to the limits of scale. I'm really excited to show it with Habatat and show the collectors this new piece.
It is a beauty. I love this color. I have a piece, I think, in a similar color of yours. So it's really an amazing piece to see in person, and the tone of all your work, especially in front of natural light. I saw on Instagram you just installed multiple head Buddha in a client's home. You guys are so busy, and I'm glad. I wish you more and more success.
Thank you so much. That one has light in it, so
Aha.
we try to take away the problem of lighting by having them self-lit, so that there's no real thought. You just plug it in and it's done.
Well, Thomas shows up and makes it all easy for everybody. I know how that works.
Thomas makes me look good. Thank you, Thomas.
That's for sure. Marlena has a variety of works on display on the GlassArtFair site. I see one behind her on the right, and more in her studio. So obviously all of us love Marlena, so thank you. Beautiful, Vanna.
Vanna White.
I love it. Well, thank you so much, Marlena, for being here.
Thank you for doing this, Aaron. You're so amazingly proactive.
And no problem. Happy to
So
do it.
appreciate it.
You're most welcome. Marlena is also great for commission work. If you have an idea or space in mind, just reach out to us anytime. Thank you, Marlena.
Thank you.
I heard through the text vine that Shelly Allen is back in the facility, so we're switching back to her. Are you there, Shelly? Let's see if you can unmute yourself. If you're not there, I'll come
there.
back.
I am.
All right.
I'm here. I'm not sure. Is my video going through okay right now?
I don't see it, but somebody else does.
Oh, okay, good. Sorry, I have a feeling that for some reason 10 a.m. here on our property, our rural property, is a tough time to receive Wi-Fi. So I had a bit of technical difficulties, but I'm actually moved into my house and I've got a much better signal here. So hello, everybody. Thank you all for being here, and thank you, Aaron, for putting this on. This is so great. It's I feel like I have a bit of a hole in my heart that we're not all together in person. And Rick and I missed SOFA last year too. So the event has been so important to both of us. So this is so meaningful, and I'm really happy to see you all. The piece Red Fox, nothing changes whether I'm shipping a piece or just having to have it ready for online presentation. I still finished it just last night. So, and I uploaded the photo, in the wee hours of the morning. So anyway, here it is. And it was important to me to finish this piece, especially for now. To me, it just represents some joy, and it's energetic. It shows focus, and it's a new format too, having the glass grass and everything kind of sprouting out of the metal base. So it's called Outfox, and I'm super happy with this piece, and it's just a lot of fun, and it's all blown. The head is a blown component also. The eyes have all been engraved. So there's a lot of detail on there and a lot of gesture. And I hope you all enjoy it. Thank you again for being here. Thanks, Aaron.
You're most welcome. Yeah, I got the photo of this last second. This is really hot off the presses. I'm surprised I'm surprised there isn't a pipe attached at the moment to this piece. So. The tones of the reds and the color and just the detail and the movement. Yeah, I can see this work being developed in the bodies of work that has come before. And I'm just always impressed about what you create. And I love the idea of the ecosystem of this animal being frozen in time, doing something, chasing something that you're kind of constantly being part of at that exact moment. So
my favorite of your pieces ever, Shelley.
Oh, thank you, Tim. That means a lot to me. I appreciate that.
Yeah, it is gorgeous. And if you ever seen Shelley's work, a variety of animals, a variety of movement and actually the lifelikeness is quite amazing. So thank you, Shelley, for being part of this. Check out her space on the GlassArtFair. See a variety of her work, and she's definitely someone that should be part of every glass collection. Thank you, Shelley.
Thank you. I so appreciate that.
You're most welcome. Glad we caught you.
Me too.
All right, so now we're at Robert Bender, and let's see, are you here, Robert? I had a note that you're joining us, so if you are here, speak up. All right, there you are. You're sideways. Good to see you. Yeah, we can see you.
Hi, am I sideways?
You are sideways. We see
Oh, wait,
you.
okay, let me turn my camera.
All right, sounds good. There you go.
I thought that it would automatically adjust, but apparently not.
Nope, you're the
that-
right
is
side
that
of the
better?
world now. Yep, much better. Thank you for joining us, Robert. I'm super
My
excited
pleasure.
to be here. I know Christina.
Sorry, it's gonna be, I'm just navigating the camera, but so I know I'm a little bit asymmetrical at the moment, but you can basically see me, right?
Yep, you're great. Go ahead. Tell us about your
Well,
work.
anyway, thank you, Aaron, for hosting this, and it's really nice to kind of hear all the other artists speaking and to be able to speak to people at the AACG and to participate. This particular piece is called Pig, and for those of you that are familiar with my work, I have a history of borrowing found objects, and I come from a history before Glass of doing children's book art and editorial illustration. And when I did editorial illustration, I loved doing collage and incorporating found objects. And I still have this similar sensibility. And in this particular pig, it's using a maple syrup jar and adding human hands and feet on it. And also I always loved color with my illustration, and particularly with my children's book art. So I have also a similar way of using colors. I try to use like vivid colors, and so in using found objects, it lends a sort of symbolism that has like a layer of meaning that is kind of humorous on the one hand, but also just carries like an energy with it that gives a kind of a depth of meaning that be hard to show, with just straight sculpting it. So anyway, that's so are we just talking about one piece, right?
Right, just one piece.
Okay.
You can explore Robert's work in your mind, imagining his experience in the authoring of children's books. You can imagine these children's drawings coming to life in sculpture, and he was talking about some meanings behind the work. And there's always super in-depth points to be made about every piece by every artist, but Robert really just has some real. He's married to Christina Bathwell, so you must get the idea that his work has a lot of depth to it. And I really am honored to be able to show this work. And it's very, very fun and lighthearted and when you have it in your home. And I've had clients who only buy fun pieces, and they always are drawn to Robert's work because they're so important, but they're also so easy to live with and enjoy and share with the family. And they draw you in a touch more because it's something you are familiarized. He mentioned the jar of syrup, but now it's slightly mixed with the pig and alive and has hands and feet of humans. So
I just was
gorgeous.
realizing I actually excuse me. I illustrated a book probably about 10 years ago called Swine Divine, and this pig actually reminds me a little bit of that pig in a funny way. And by the way, Christina sends her apologies. She just left a few minutes ago to donate blood, which she had an appointment for. But anyway, so thank you very much, Aaron, for
most welcome
inviting us, and it's great to participate in this.
Thank you for being here. We're super honored to have you, and keep an eye on Robert's work if you like it, and check out the website to see more. All right, Alex, you're up next. This is a beautiful example of your work, and I hope you're here. Let's see if you pop up.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, you sound great.
Hi, everyone. I really miss seeing people in person. It's almost like a rite of passage this time of year, fall, going to SOFA and seeing so many friends. I didn't really know what effect it would have on me, but I've really been a little bummed out that I'm gonna miss everybody. Obviously the artist friends and collectors friends. So Aaron, thank you so much for putting this all together. This is kind of like the impromptu, and it's nice to see everyone virtually. This is a piece that is, first off, it's cast glass. So I put glass in an oven, the oven gets hot, it melts all together. This is using frit, which is kind of popcorn kernel size pieces. And on this piece, I actually use the different shades and different colors of frit, almost like a painter. I'll mix them together to make different layers of color. And in fact, the blue that you can see in this piece doesn't actually exist. It comes from mixing this neodymium color with another green, and then I'm able to achieve this blue. Some of you may also be familiar with my fused steel method, which nowadays is called Bernsteining, where I literally grind sparks onto the glass. So if you see the kind of brown edge of this, that actually is steel on the surface of the piece. The entire piece is glass, but there's steel fused to the surface. And with that, I can patina the steel if I want, like this one's patinaed or rusted. And I think it gives my work kind of a history. Having rusty steel by definition has passed age. You don't have, brand new steel that's rusty. You have steel and then it rusts. So I like my work to have this kind of mystical passing of time, almost like this is some sort of ancient object that maybe was dug up from, the mountains of Santa Fe, 5,000 years old. So I try to have my work based roughly and inspired by nature, but abstract enough that you can bring your own memories, your own ideas, and your own thoughts. Maybe this looks like a piece of coral that you saw in the ocean. I want my work to kind of spur your imagination, and your own ideas are brought to the work. And I also want to say, just to change the subject, Shelley, that piece was amazing. I did interrupt you. That's by far my favorite piece in the show. It was really breathtaking. Shelley, amazing work.
Oh, wow.
I realized, like, whoa, it took my breath away.
Thank you.
Really amazing.
Good to know. Thank you. Thank you, Jessica. Alex, for joining us today. I see your name on the screen.
Your piece is gorgeous.
Thank you, Shelley.
That's funny. Well, Alex has, again, been with the Habatat family for a long time. Many of you know him. You probably all do, because you're all ACG members and you already have his work. So it's time to get another one, because Alex is at work at the pinnacle of his career right now. He's exploring forms and colors and tones. He has all his partners for glass lined up perfectly. There's nobody better to have in your collection by far, because his work is just so powerful and so beautiful, and it draws such great attention. Thank you, Alex, for being here.
Thank you, Aaron. If you do look through the work that I have listed, you'll see some different work. And I've taken this time for exploration. Discovering new ideas is really what drives my creative fire. So you may see some work, you're like, whoa, that doesn't look like Alex's work. But to me, I'm really exploring new ideas, and that's what keeps me up at night, and that's what makes me get to the studio first thing in the morning, because I'm excited to explore these new ideas. And I've taken some of this time to try to do that, and I think you'll see my language, so it will look like my work, but hopefully I'm trying to explore some new ideas. Thank you all so much, and I miss seeing you in person someday soon, hopefully. Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you, Alex. All right. Next, Martin Blank. I think you are here, Martin. Would you jump in and say hello, unmute yourself?
Absolutely. Hey, good morning. Right on. I gotta say, this is so awesome to see everybody. Oh man, I don't feel so alone.
That's right.
And I love that everyone's kicking in and making comments and making this a conversation. Shelley, I saw you with your kitty. I got my dog Finn. Hey, Pooch. Well, anyways, I got my big dog. He lives with me here at the studio. Well, anyways, you guys, the older I get, I'm sorry, the sun is just shifted and blaring here.
Oh, you look good. You look good.
Oh, there you go. Get a little rouge on my cheek there. I don't know. The older I'm getting, the more thoughtful and sort of feel like really responding to the romantic poets in this sort of sense of.
Hey, Martin.
Hey,
you are super beautiful.
Oh, bless you.
Super beautiful.
So I'm feeling just more thoughtful the older I get, and this piece is called "A Whisper in the Forest," and it really sort of speaks to which a lot of the artists are speaking to, and the Romantics and Whitman, who's another great hero, and some of Frost. That everybody knows Frost, but this piece is really about trying, well, I would say a majority of my work is sort of trying to translate emotions into three-dimensional objects, and that it carries that. This quality of being alone, the road, the path less traveled, the decisions that one makes in their life, the moment where did you go, which path did you choose? And either path is correct. And Whitman speaks to us about you're on a path, you're on a journey. We're moving through this life, and you may have been on it your whole life. You just didn't know you're on it. And and as well as all of my peers, we're on this journey. So this is a sculpted and assembled. And also I love this sort of smell of the snow and the solitude of being out in a field and watching the ice and how it's just sort of captured and frozen onto a tree. And it's such an ephemeral moment because the weather might go up 1 degree and suddenly all the ice just melts. There's a lot of wonderment and magic in the world. And the more we slow down, the more we see this and observe it, the more compelling and dynamic my life experience is. And so this piece is just sort of the solitary figure standing alone in this frozen field of these branches, just sort of pondering and feeling thankful. And I'm feeling really thankful for this community, and I don't feel so alone, and just feeling really blessed. And to see all of this talent, every one of you, I just admire from the collectors all the way to all of my fellow artists. We all are unique individuals that have a lot to share with a lot of your own, no matter what your passion is, we all get it. And I think that's what's so unique about this movement is we get to share that with each other, and we are a community. So thank you guys. It's an honor to be part of it.
Thank you, Martin. That was beautiful. And your work is also stunning. This work is absolutely beautiful and powerful. And thank you again for being here and sharing with us today.
You know it, buddy. So good to see everybody. Ciao, ciao.
Thank you, Martin. Next on the GlassArtFair webpage is Jen Blizzina. Jen couldn't be here with us today, so she sent me something to read. So I will read it for you guys, talking about her series of irons. So my work is influenced by commonplace possessions, family, vignettes, and photographs, whether found in a secondhand shop or passed down by my family. I am often attracted and captivated by the lost beauty of subtle images and materials. The irons are a playful series of toys which are reminiscent of ones in which I played with as a child. I was also inspired to create the work based on my grandmother's profession as a seamstress when she immigrated to the US from Italy. As a child, I would be in the kitchen with my grandmother while she sewed while I played with these toys. Each iron is formed in wax, then cast in glass, bronze, and aluminum. Each piece is one of a kind. After the parts are taken out of the kiln or foundry, I cold work and polish individual parts of these sculptures. Thank you so much for sharing with us, Jen, and I appreciate the write-up. And you can see more of Jen Blizzina's work on the GlassArtFair site. This iron series, something she's very proud of, and it may identify with you as well. Next is a work by Peter Borkovic, a Hungarian artist, and a last-minute add to the Glass 48 page. Peter has more work available in the gallery, but it will be added to the website later. These are fused sculptures, and they just blow my mind how he makes these things. They're just freestanding on a metal stand, glass that has been fused, and I asked him once to explain his process to me, and he wouldn't. He was not going to tell me, and Corey has the same scenario when he was with him on a glass tour. And so I have explanations that I make up all the time, but they're simply stunning works. He's developed some amazing techniques, heavily inspired by water and about nature, and every piece is a treasure. Next is artist Christina Bathwell. Robert was here talking a bit about his work, and this is his wife, Christina. Many of us know her work, inspired by the home and the family. She is very active in the contemporary glass art world. She just had an exhibition recently I saw online, and every work she makes is just so stunning. She has different secrets painted on her pieces. We've done amazingly with her work. Always have a very heartwarming experience. Some people have different reactions, but once they get a chance to know her and know her work, they fall in love. And we're honored to have her in our Habatat family. See her work on the site. I'm doing a couple of commissions with her at the moment, so she's very active and very eager to meet you all. Lachazar, are you here today? I think you are not, but if you are, jump in before I start talking.
Yes, hi.
All right, there you are. Welcome, welcome. Please talk about your work and your presentation.
All right, well, thank you so much for really organizing. It's great to see everybody's face. I wish we could shake hands and be close and have fun and tell jokes, but the situation is like that, and it's great that from all over the world, people could be joined together. I'm in California right now. It's like 10:30 in the morning, and happy to see everybody. Thank you. And my work, I have started my glass as cold working. I was doing mostly optical sculptures for about 10 years. And in 97, about 23 years ago, I started working with cast glass and kiln cast specifically. I have studied in Czech Republic with Libensky, and I always wanted to do this type of work, and it was not available to me during the time when I was a student or in the early years when I came to United States in 1986. And finally, when the democracy came in Czech Republic, the borders opened, I went back there to see my friends, colleagues, and started doing this type of work. It's all done by sculpting with clay, taking a negative mold and putting the mold in the kiln, loading it with the right amount of glass and heating it up, melting the piece, and then it's slowly anneals, cools down. The process is very long. It takes in the kiln 3 weeks, let's say, for a piece, and then it comes out, and it's a lot of work after that. It's a lot of grinding and polishing. So it does take a long time to do. And the focus of my work is to be, to show the beauty of the humanity of the human body, mostly female bodies. I've done a lot of torsos, and for me, they're one of the most beautiful things in the world. And we all come from there. So we're very related to it. And I just want to bring joy and beauty to people's life, to share my work with all of you. So I'm thankful for you to show it and, you know, being there. Aaron, thank you so much.
You're most welcome, Lachazar. Your work is absolutely beautiful, and it's great to get an idea. We had a Habatat Zoom with Lachazar not too long ago. It's on his page of the GlassArtFair to get a real glimpse of his technique and style and his artwork. So thank you again, Lachazar. Beautiful, beautiful pieces.
Thanks, everybody.
Peter, are you around? I know I saw you a little bit ago. How great. Come and join us.
All right, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yep, you sound great.
All right. Well, first of all, Martin, you're getting older, but you're becoming more poetic, and I love that. That's really, really cool. And what you said is really what I feel in my heart. We miss you guys. We miss all the collectors, all our friends, all our colleagues, and we miss hanging out and, you know, having lots of laughter and lots of wine as well, of course. That speaks for itself. So what you're looking at, the piece on the left, is one of the largest cast pieces I have done, that is in one piece. And I'll tell you a little bit about it. It's from my very recent series, Vibration series, and it's called Vibrations, Rhythm, Waves, and Interruptions. What is important about this piece is that, to me, it's an avatar. It represents the dance of life itself. And while the outer form is interrupted and pierced, in a rhythmic move from left to right, it shifts in balance with the inner structure of the glass. So the negative spaces, actually all the holes and everything, are encircled by clarity and focus. And the flow may be challenged, but finds stillness in its core. The sculpture is represented, for me, it's a represented deity. It's a vibrational being that finds and holds its balance in the ascending wave in the middle of the sculpture. And to some extent, even though I started making this model 2 years ago, long before COVID, to some extent, it's very kind of typical for now, in the sense that we are being challenged in our life. We are being challenged in our contacts with each other and into our health. But at the same time, we're all trying to find that middle line, that inner balance, that ascending movement that swings left and right, but at the same time is still making us feel alive, making us feel connected, and making us feel in touch with ourselves, and that what really matters. And I would love to have shown this to you, and it would have been at SOFA. It's actually still in the Czech Republic. We still need to do a little bit of polishing, but if you want to see more of it, you can find it on the GlassArtFair website, or you can also go to my website. Anyway, thank you, Aaron, very much. Lovely to see you all. It moves me to see you, and stay happy and stay healthy.
Thank you, Peter. I definitely learned a little bit from your presentation about comparing, the human's ability to adapt. And it's what we're all doing in today's society. We're all adapting. And I can see that in this work. The movement is if every adaptation up the piece as it goes to the very top to a future of the unknown. But this piece is very substantial. There's a photo of it with Peter standing next to it on the GlassArtFair to give you an idea of scale. It is
7.5 feet tall.
It's a monumentous achievement. Congratulations, Peter. And thank you for being here today. Jason and Jen, are you guys around? I know one of you should be here. Let's see. If not, we will talk about your work for you. Jason Javacarty and Jennifer Caldwell are well-known artists. We've been showing them for a couple of years, and they experiment in different styles. You can see it on the Glass 48. This particular piece is inspired, as you can probably tell, heavily by exploring the ocean and about the open world of the sea. You never know what you're going to run into. You can see as if this piece is worn by time. It's had different experiences over time. It is a beautiful example of their work. They also have honeybees that you might have seen at our Prime Space in Chicago at SOFA. You'll see a beautiful collection of their work. Someone just took over sharing again. I don't know if I can steal it back. I wonder why people keep doing that. Let me hold off and get back to the screen. Thank you. Anyway, they have a couple of them on our website to get a glimpse into they're priced reasonably well. So I hope you guys have a chance to see them and enjoy them. Next, we have Dale Chihuly. This guy probably needs no introduction. This art piece is a secondary market work. It is, and also in our estates presentation in the upcoming Intersect Art Fair. So this particular piece, which we'll talk about more in a different Zoom, is from the Michael and Annie Belkin art collection. And so we were able to acquire for resale a lot of their artworks to be able to sell on the secondary market. So you'll be seeing some of those soon. We're doing a whole Zoom dedicated to them and probably an auction. But I wanted to show you a beautiful work. This photograph was taken by Dan Fox. Many of you know him from my past Zooms, a photographer based out of Seattle. He is a talent, and this work is just a great example of Dale Chihuly's work from this era.
Aaron,
yeah.
Hi. Jason's actually here. I was just texting him. Yeah, I was trying to get him to unmute because I was asking him. He didn't want to talk, so he's trying to unmute himself right now.
Let me see. There you are. All right, I'll go back.
I thought you were in control.
No.
Hi.
We can hear you. Speak up a little bit closer to the microphone if you don't mind. There you go. Perfect. Welcome, guys.
Hi, we are. Thank you for having us. Can I just make one suggestion for next year, Aaron?
Sure.
You get the open bar back.
You probably have one in your house. Help yourself.
We're at coffee in the morning here in Arizona. But thank you for having. Thank you, everyone. for joining. Thank you, Marilee, for picking up one of our pieces last week, actually a porthole. These portholes, we actually started kind of like Jennifer posed a challenge about 5 or 6 years saying like, I want to do this casting, but I want to control where the focal point is technically. And so I kind of embraced the idea. All the casting is done in the hot shop. And so we have like such an unlimited versatility to the color and how we use it and how it's layered or how much is put on there. And then, you know, the knobs and the octopus here are flame worked. The octopus is something that Jennifer's been making for 20 years now. Yeah, 20 years. And so it's nice to see it in different orientations on some of our work. This piece actually, like we kind of held on to this, not only the memory, but the idea seems significant right now. We just finished this piece over the last couple months, I guess. But the title refers to, and the idea refers to just that, not only the unknown path, but kind of the people you rely on along the way, or who you can rely on, or what you rely on in times where it's necessary. And so this goes back to a photograph that we took at Cranberry Lake, actually in upstate New York. We had left Corning and we were headed up to see some friends in Canada. And we stopped for lunch and a row. So.
Well, thank you guys so much. Congratulations. I heard there's a new grandchild in your family.
Yes.
Exciting news. Happy news. And thank you guys for being here.
Now, how many people get a grandchild with skipping the kid? I lucked out.
It's true. All right, jumping back in. All right, Deanna, are you around?
Hello?
There you are. Welcome.
I'm here. Thank you. Well, I'm super happy to be here. Thank you very much, Aaron.
Most welcome.
This is 25 years of exploration has brought me to this new series of work, which I am super excited about. About 10 years ago, the heads came into my repertoire very unexpectedly. They tended to be sad in the beginning, and I had to figure out how they fit into my body of work and what I'm passionate about doing, which is the pâte de verre. The pâte de verre is my language. So through lots of experimentation and all the years of doing vessels, I learned what the glass could handle with that casting technique. But also I introduced copper mesh into the work, which brought in an aesthetic that I was interested in the beginning. And eventually I learned it had structural integrity also. And it enabled me to create these torsos that support the head and give you more of a lightness. You know, the early heads were more sad and heavy, and this gives it a nice, strong physical presence with an ephemeral quality that I really am enjoying. And I see the future of these being great. Inspired by Gustav Klimt, you might not see it, but I see a whole world of pieces based on this exploration of color and design, and I'm super excited.
That's great. These are, I think we have these at the gallery. They are just absolutely stunning. And you can explore like she was saying, the copper mesh around the piece really adds to the visual exploration of color. It just draws you in. And thank you, Deanna, so much for being here.
Thank you.
All right. Next, this is by Matthew Curtis from Australia. We have a little variety of work by Matthew on the GlassArtFair website. A couple of the pieces are in the gallery, some are with him in Australia, but he's known for a couple of series you've seen mixing metal with steel. And he's come back to an older body of work because we've sold some of this series in the secondary market. And as of, I think, 2019, he came back to approach this series of these vessels and bowls, and they just have an amazing glow to them. And they're just very, very beautiful, and they have beautiful works. And we're honored to have Matthew in our Habatat family, and they're available in different colors and different sizes, and just a great example of Matthew Curtis's work. Ekin and Joshua, you guys online? I thought I saw you, Josh, earlier. They have been with us for a couple of Zooms.
Hi.
Hi guys, good to see you. Welcome back.
Good to see you. Thank you very much for having us.
You're most welcome. I picked this piece because it drew me in the most in the photos you sent, and I just love it. Please talk about your work.
Yeah. We were thinking about you would show a different one. This is a very unique one that we've finished early this year. This has some colors inside that are I think they're fuchsia and different tone of red, and then blue gray outside that is opaque.
Yeah, so these are this is actually part of a series of cityscapes. We kind of have a body of work that we've titled Cityscapes, and this one is from a series within that called The Strings Between Us. And in this series, we're kind of dealing with a lot of pattern. And again, this abstracted cityscape as a view from like a fisheye lens. And it creates these really, really dynamic forms. This is all blown glass. So we start with a blown bubble, and then we deconstruct it by cutting it with diamonds and sandblasting the surface to reveal all the color and fun stuff underneath.
It's a beautiful work. We have a variety of works available by these Kalamazoo-based artists. We've started showing them for the first time at the beginning of this year, and they've been quite popular. And these are very, very light in weight and easy to enjoy in any place in your home with natural light or artificial. Thank you guys so much for being here.
Thank you.
Sean Donlon, are you around? I'm going to open up my chat in case someone starts texting me too. Sean, his work is heavily inspired by the home. You know, for him, the form of teapot is such a familiarity to him growing up that it brings him a form of peace. Now he's taking the teapot into his own style by using the silver plating and taking the form. This particular piece is wall mounted. The first time we had his work on display was in the Pop and Lock show we had at the gallery during the 2019 International, and it sold pretty well. Even another artist bought one of his pieces. So Sean was in our silver show this year, which is our accompaniment to the 2020 Glass International. And we're honored to have him. We see a lot of potential of him in the future. And if you like this kind of work, contact me anytime. Jan Xnar, a Czech artist, works in large cast glass forms. His work is about time and about the passing of time. This piece might have been an important part of a building or a church or a temple or something, but time has gone by, eroding it to what it is today. And he is amazing at taking his glass castings and treating them in a way to look like they've been through time itself. Ferdinand Hampton has a large blue piece of theirs in his personal collection, and they visited the artist during one of the glass art tours. Another substantial Czech artist that you should definitely check out if you like Lubinsky's work and other works like that, because it's just powerful, powerful stuff. Irene, are you here? I hope you are, because I know we talked earlier. Let me see if I'm getting a chat from.
I am here.
Ah, good. Welcome, welcome.
Okay, good.
We can hear you and we can see you.
So nice to be here, and greetings from up here in Canada. That's all I have to say about that. Let's hope we get through this time well. This piece is called Arc, and this sculpture started as a part of a group of waxes I made to explore the idea of regeneration, passing on from one generation to another. What gets saved, what gets lost, and what passes on. This is the question I've been asking for much of my career, which I'm getting on to 80 now, which has been quite a while. What gets passed on? Who get to pass it on? As I get older, this is more pointed and interesting to me, and I'm not as timid as I used to be talking about particulars. I'm trying to be more direct. At the age of 6 weeks in October of 1940, in my hometown of Stanisław of Poland, I was held in my 18-year-old mother's arms at the edge of a huge, hastily dug pit in the Chihuly. 12,000 Jewish citizens were shot that day. I was saved because it got too dark to shoot. The story is my mother's story. The reason we survived the rest of the war is due to my mother's bravery, intelligence, and perfect intuition, and most because she could pass. So this sculpture started as a seed pod, the wax, that is. But as often happens to my work, it magically turns into human form, transmutes. The wax seed pot split open and became a womb. The womb became a head that split, and the vessel formed by that became an ark. And the ark tosses on a sea of the bluest blue and is supported by waves of human hands which hold it up. And in the ark flows a dreaming child, saved from the storm, the bearer of the story, the history. All the ancestors and all the love and all the ideas and all that history, that is what we pass on as a people, history. My people are known as people of the book. And at major holidays, we recite our history, always admonished to remember. History is memory. Memory is art. You are memory, our art. Thank you.
Thank you, Irene, for being here. Thank you for sharing your work with us. And make sure to see Irene's work on the Glass Art Fair website. Beautiful and colorful and unbelievably talented. Thank you, Irene. All right. All right. Hannah, are you around? I know I saw you earlier.
Hello, I'm here.
Oh, good to see you. Welcome, welcome.
That's very hard to follow. Irene's work is beautiful and incredibly powerful narrative. So I'm speechless now. I don't know what to say. It was beautiful. So I wanted to say enormous thanks to Aaron and the Habatat family, the Glass family, and the AACG family for allowing me to be here. It's a very genuine honor. So my name's Hannah Gibson. I'm based in the UK where it's 6 p.m. and it's completely dark outside. So my background's in geology. I then went on to study glass. In my most recent body of work, I interweave my passions of glass and, sorry, I've got a four-legged friend here, Daisy, just joining in. So in my most recent body of work, I combine my passions of glass and geology. And so it's called, the body of work is called Recycling Narratives, Whispering Sweet Nothings, which is a series of cast glass pieces. So I work with predominantly recycled glass, and I try and use increasingly challenging types of glass. So it might be television glass or car windscreens or mobile phone glass. But by keeping the shape the same, it means my focus can be on the materiality. So I've got 3 pieces in the Glass Art Fair. So this one, so I've got 3 Through the Looking Glass, which is made from recycled Bang & Olufsen television screens. And this one here is called The Grass is Always Greener. So something that's important to me. So I'm led by the glass itself, and being recycled, I'm led by that. But so something that is important to me is that it's all very highly polished. So I take it from 80 grit all the way through to cerium, which can be tricky and a labor of love working with that. So I have another piece, Time and Tide Wait for No Man, which is made from recycled milk bottles and upcycled watch parts. But as I said, each shape is completely unique. So in effect, its own limited edition in its own right. Anyway, so I just wanted to say thank you ever so much for letting me be here. It is a very genuine honor. Thank you.
Thank you, Hannah, for being here. I appreciate that. And I'm always looking to see what you make next. I almost want like a whole wall of your work, just like behind you. Be well.
Thank you very much. Stay safe.
You're most welcome. Next is the late Michael Glancy's work. This is another piece of work from the collection of Annie and Michael Belkin. We were able to put in 3 pieces that are available, priced well, in the Glass Art Fair exhibition. This piece is actually sitting in the gallery, almost behind my desk. It is quite large. I think it's like almost 22 inches tall. a unique single form without a plate beneath it. Just wonderful, just a talent. Such a loss to lose Michael Glancy, but I suspect there's going to be a lot of demand for his work because of how amazingly talented he was. And we think of him every day. I had a chance to meet him a couple times, and it was an honor. Javier Gomez, I don't believe you're here, so I will speak for you. He is an artist from Spain, creates beautiful, beautiful forms out of basically laminated and cut polished glass. Javier is inspired by nature. We've done really well with his work over time. He's extremely well known. It's always great to have different countries from around the world represented by the gallery and in our exhibitions. And there's nobody better to be pulling in from Spain than Javier. Check out the site. You have a chance to experience his work. He's a video of interviews with him, and you get an idea of his amazing talent. Robin Griebe. Many of us know Robin. She was one of the first artists I got to meet personally in the Habatat history of me. Back in the day in Pontiac, Ferdinand, my predecessor, put up a show of Robin Griebe's work, and he rented one of the first flat screen TVs and was able to show her work on this rented flat screen TV. I can't even tell you how much it cost to rent back then. If those of you who've been to Kathy and Ferd's house in Michigan have seen their piece they have on the wall. They've recently acquired another one via secondary market. Personally, I always call Robin to get work from her for our gallery. Her work is so strenuous to make, and it takes so much time that she makes so little pieces per year, if any. This particular piece is on the secondary market. If you love Robin's work, or if you're looking to find one, contact us. We have a couple options on the GlassArtFair site. Wilford Grudens. Many of you know him. We've been showing him at SOFA for the last couple years. His work is created with glass, paint, carving, and a ton of patience. He's an amazing artist. He's one of our best sellers during this pandemic. People are really enjoying these particular works, and many of you have seen him at art fairs and art shows in the past. As the work turns, the work is all created on panes of glass, and those panes are all laminated together. Well, as the work turns around, that drawing disappears, the painting disappears until you turn it again. Very beautiful, beautiful, beautiful things. And we're honored to have him in this art fair. And make sure you check out his page. He does do different objects like eggs and spheres. And the most recent thing he's doing is wall paintings that have been quite successful. There are about 5 layers of paint on 4 different panels. Check them out, and I look forward to your thoughts. Josh, I know you're here. Where are you, Josh? Will you come join us?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you, everyone, for joining us here in the virtual world. It's great to see everyone's face. I'm going to just talk a little bit about this piece. It's titled Persistence of Vision, and it's negative core casting, or reverse core casting. So it was actually made without using any wax, which is different from my previous types of work. Instead, I'm using positive plaster cores, which get embedded inside of a box, and the glass is melted inside and melts around the cores. After it's cast, those plaster cores are removed, and so the cameras exist as negative spaces. I then go in and I'll polish each lens. So the lenses actually are quite interesting, how they work. They still project images and optics just as a normal camera would. So if you were to place a ground glass screen or some sort of screen behind these cameras, they will project imagery. And in the right lighting situations, you could actually use these cameras as actual cameras which will photograph and capture images. So it's quite interesting to walk around this work as it kind of bends and morphs the world around it. The entirety of the architecture which the piece is placed within becomes captured in each lens. So as you kind of look at it, the whole environment changes with your interaction with the work. I guess Persistence of Vision, the title is, it's an optical phenomena where the illusion of motion is created because the brain interprets multiple still images as one. When multiple images appear in fast enough succession, the brain blends them into a single persistent moving image. So this work plays with notions of illusion using cast glass, light, and optics. The bending and morphing effects created by the curved edges seem to stretch space and time as we move around the work. These techniques really encourage an abstract way of viewing the world, and kind of will really draw you in. I found myself really, although I made it, just kind of in the process of polishing it, would kind of just get lost in the work and find myself just staring deeper and deeper into it and getting lost in the optics. The composition is kind of laid out like a film strip, and the bisected cut down the center was kind of meant to show the outdated process of editing by cutting the film by hand. So I'm talking a lot about the process of photography and kind of how it relates to vision. In that cut, there's also a 45-degree angle that was created. So there's a mirroring event that kind of reflects the camera's back on top of themselves. So there's a lot of doubling and optical illusions that are kind of counterintuitive that you might not expect until you see the work. So I encourage you all to go to the Habatat website, the Glass 48 site, and also the GlassArtFair. I've uploaded images, videos of the work in motion, so you can kind of get an idea of how this work through cold working techniques kind of bends and morphs space. So I think that's all I really have to say right now about this work. I'd like to kind of finish by just saying how much I miss you all, and just want to send strength to everybody during this hard time, and remind you to keep taking photos. When I was helping my dad pack all of his belongings, because he was under evacuation orders for the fires here in California, the things that he first needed to take, the most important things were the photos off the wall. And right now, more than ever, I'm realizing just how important documenting and photographing our world is, and it's more relevant than ever. So thank you all for listening, and please let me know if you have any questions, and do go and watch the videos. I have studio visit available that I recorded, and also a description of this work where I kind of walk through my process and maybe speak a little more eloquently about the work in that video. So thank you, Aaron, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.
Thank you so much, Josh. I appreciate it. All right. Peter Hora's son, Lucas, may be on. If he's not, I will cover for him. In Sarasota and St. Petersburg this year, before the pandemic, we had an exhibition of Peter Hora, a lifetime achievement exhibition. And Peter went and remade every single piece he ever made in the history of his career in a maquette style. And it was amazing to see, for those of you that saw it in St. Petersburg in the Hampton Gallery. It was an amazing sight to see. There are other works left from that exhibition. The artist is making more. Maybe he didn't get through his whole repertoire, but this particular piece is a maquette. It's about 12 inches tall. It is commissionable in a larger size. We've had a lot of interest in this particular piece and body of work, and they are amazing to see and in person. And if you have a certain spot, they range about 12 inches tall, 12 inches wide, depending on the scale. And if you're looking for a Hora, they're priced very reasonably, and they're commissionable as well. His unique works are also still available at larger scale. This is a stunning example of Peter Hora's artwork. Beautiful red, you can see the tones, such pure form. We've been showing, Peter for as long as the gallery's been around, I think 35 years. They have a great relationship with him and his son and his wife and family. And, the work he creates is every time just so impressive. And I'm sure many of you are familiar with Peter's work already. We have some on the GlassArtFair.com. He's amazing to work with for commissions as well. And we thank him for being part of the show. David Hutchhausen, I don't think is here. Oh, maybe he is here. I thought I saw you earlier. Will you jump in, David? I think I heard you, but if not, I'll take care of it. We've been showing David maybe longer than Peter. Probably. He's been in every single international show, I think, since the first one. And he is, let me see if I got a chat from him. So he has a variety of work available.
Aaron?
There you are, David. I can hear you.
Got
now.
a little trouble figuring this thing out. Sorry.
No worries. Join us. I picked this piece because I thought it was beautiful.
Greetings from Seattle. We have a nice sunny day here today, which we can't count on much this time of the year. I think most of you are familiar with my work. I've been working in glass for 50 years. And over that time, it's obviously covered a lot of territory. I can't see which piece Aaron had up there. I'm on an iPad, so I think it has limited capability here.
Gotcha. It's one of your orb forms.
There were a lot of those.
This is from the 2013 show, or from our inventory for 2013.
I'll take a stab at it. The spheres actually started after I read an article about, I read a lot on astronomy and physics, and I've always been fascinated with astronomy since I was a child. And my work, obviously, I started out in architecture. My original background is in architecture, and you can see the influence of that through all of the work. And the spheres went off in a little bit different direction. All of my work over the years has used the whole 360-degree circumference of the piece, forcing the viewer to move around it. So much of the work you see has one or two good views, but I always fascinated, I think three-dimensionally and architecturally. So I'm concerned about moving the viewer around the piece and into the piece. So all of my work's been three-dimensional, but the spheres took that off in another direction because they have no top, bottom, up, down, front, or back. So every single axis point you set them on, they have a completely different view. So you could change it, move it every day of the rest of your life, and you get a continually rotating image on it.
Yes, and we have a variety of David's work in the gallery and on the Glass Art Fair. We'll be adding a couple more pieces of David's that you can explore and see, and then he's got some videos we're putting up there as well. So many of you have been part of his career, met him many times, so we're honored to have you, David, in our exhibition, and thank you again for being here.
Thank you.
All right, we will go to Joe Ivacek. Joe had to skate out. He's taking his son to a meeting, but he gave me something to read. Let me squeeze back to it, and I'll read it out loud. So this piece is called Echoes. Most of you are familiar with Ivacek's work that goes on the wall, inspired by his career in graffiti, and he makes those cans of glass as well. This particular piece is a different style from him, but he, with all the stories and all the tumultuous times we're going through, this obviously reached out to him to create this piece. And it's about standing up and speaking up for those who can't or won't speak up for themselves. Civil rights based, this piece is based on civil rights and the butterfly effect for those who lost this year. Ruth
He's in the room too, Aaron.
Is he? I thought he left. Let me just finish reading this. Ruth Bader Ginsburg and John Lewis are examples of people who inspired this work. Are you here, Joe? I thought you took off. Pretty sure he did. But it is something different he's exploring, and he wanted to share it with us all today. And I thank him for it. All right. Martin Yanetsky. Martin has been busy building and creating a studio in the Czech Republic. He has a team of assistants now that help him, and we interact with every day. And he created this installation of heads, which you can see in this other photo, for a commission for a client, and he put it up on our website showing his talent. You can kind of see the how it looks from the side as the faces all interact each other. We discovered Martin years ago and are big fans of his life and his work, and he's only going to go up from here. And he's an artist celebrity working on amazingly large blown glass sculptures, working on the material from inside and out. He's been working with glass since his childhood, and we're honored to have him in the Habatat family. See the website for 3 new pieces that he has in the studio, and they're all in his studio, but we're glad we're able to show them and share them with you guys today. All right, Michael Janice, I know you're here. I can see you.
thanks, Aaron. It's good to be here with my glass family and be able to at least see them online if I can't be with them in person. The pieces that I have in the show are continuations of the glass powder drawings that I do. I like to make images out of crushed glass powder, where I'm manipulating the really fine ground powder with X-Acto blades or brushes to create a drawing. I mean, I like to use portraiture, and it's amazing how much emotion I can create by just moving around the powder by a few grains of powder that it really changes the whole tenor. And the series that are in this show are ones that kind of show about how we have many different facets to ourselves, that there's a difference between how we perceive ourselves and how the rest of the world perceives themselves, and how much turmoil is going on. And there's sometimes, though we have a calm presentation of ourselves, a lot of turbulence might be going on internally. And that's something I wanted to describe with glass, to show that there is some kind of a connection that we have with other people, and through the artwork is what I'm trying to show in my work. And I have a couple other pieces that are in the show that have the same thing. These are large pieces. These are about 60 inches high by about 40 inches high, wide overall. So they are very, very strong piece, and they are a very, very commanding piece for the show.
I agree 100%. They're all on display right now at the actual gallery. And if you want to see more photos, we're happy to provide them. They are impressive at that scale. The work really pops off the black tone in the background. And it's a masterpiece. I must give you a high five on the internet. Richard Jolly, I know you are here. Join us, Richard. Just got to unmute yourself if you can.
Is that it, Aaron?
There you are. I can hear you. Yep. Thank you.
Good. Great. Thanks for having me, Aaron. And hello, everyone. Tommy and I were talking last night over dinner and realized this is the first time we aren't going to be in Chicago since about 1987.
Wow. Wow.
But anyway, so we miss y'all. But this is a piece about quietude. Probably most of y'all know I mix and melt my own glass in my own colors. And this is an exploration in the surface treatment called Scavo. So it's got a really rich, vibrant granular surface where you add a powder to your exterior while your glass is hot, and it scorches the glass. So it's sort of like caramelizing onions, shall you say, if you're a cook. But anyway, I think with work like this, I really try to infuse the concept of quietude, and where this personal experience becomes universal. And the surface on it, I feel, is something that's relevant in a lot of my work, where there's a classical modern link, where it has a surface which could possibly be Etruscan, and yet you can see by the imaging of it, it actually has a modern link. And then also on the website, the body of work that I've been working on since the winter is called From Water. And I basically been melting a variety of tonal qualities of glass. Again, I mix and melt from the raw materials, very much in a Renaissance concept. But with that, I've been trying to infuse some of the aesthetic qualities that have a similarity with water and glass, where they both are a frozen moment. They both have interesting reflective qualities. And then also relating to water, it is one of the origins of life.
Great. Well, thank you, Richard, so much. Definitely check out that body of work on the website. Richard is an amazing talent. We talk almost every couple of weeks or every week and just get an idea of what he's working on. And we're honored to have you here today. Richard, thank you again.
Thank you.
Claire, I know I saw you when we booted up. Are you still here? I'd love to have you talk about your work.
Hi, I'm here.
There you are. Welcome, welcome. Nice to meet you.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much. And thank you for including my work in this fabulous exhibition. And it's so nice to be included with these really important and talented artists. So it's really special to me. This work is called Parallax, and it's a kind of specialized little grouping of trees and animals that I make. And I have some different versions of this piece in this series, I should say, out there in the world. But this one is the first one I ever did. It's very much based around the idea of perspectives and the way that different denizens of a place look at the world. Everybody's point of view is very important, even from the trees around us to the animals that live in our world to the smallest little, inhabitants up to the largest inhabitants. And so a lot of my work just has to do with seeing things from the point of view of someone else and how everyone's perspective is just as important to them as ours is to ourselves. These little foxes, which are kind of sneaking around in this forest scene, perhaps hunting those little eggs that are in the trees. These little stylized animals are all blown. So these are actually hollow blown bubbles that I've been learning how to make over the past few years as I've started to venture more and more into blown glass sculpture. And I've developed some work that I feel is really taking off on a really good tack. And I love the body language that I can bring to these animals. My work is known for its use of color. I do use a lot of different color ways to achieve the effects that I want to represent. And I've also been experimenting with different bodies of glass to achieve some of the effects that I want to get. In fact, I should point out that this piece is now available with all the trees are mounted on bases that are made from repurposed vitrolite, which is an architectural colored glass that was very popular through the good part of the mid-19th century and has now been discontinued. So I actually buy it on the secondary market and cold work it to hold many of the pieces that I make to add a beautiful colored element and a flat glass base. So a lot of my new work is really experimenting with different aspects of glass. I do lamp working, I do a lot of cold working, and of course I work in the glass blowing studio. So I'm really just challenged by what the new face of glass really can be, and maybe even bringing a touch of mixed media into some of my work. Not in this piece per se, but in other pieces I make. There's other materials that are involved.
Thank you, Claire, so much. I just noticed the bird's nest hidden in this piece. There's always a little secret here and there you can find out. Mm-hmm. Well, thank you, Claire, so much for joining us today.
Thank you very, very much.
All right, Marta Klanowska, many of you were around for our presentation of her work we had last week, and we had a chance to visit with the artist. She's inspired by the old masters who create beautiful historic paintings, and she recreates the animals in real life. Usually the animals are about this big in the giant painting, and she finds the small animal and creates them and creates an experience. And she makes about, I don't know, maybe like 6 works a year, and they are stunning, and this piece is in the gallery right now. If you like Marta's work, I'll send you more photos. She's an amazing talent, and they're very rare. Vladimir Klumpar. I know she left, but Matthias might be here, but if he's not, I'll speak for her.
I'm here.
All right, good to see you, Matthias. Welcome, welcome.
Welcome. Yeah, I'm sorry for, hi everybody. I'm Matthias Pavlik, and this is actually my mother's work. We work quite closely together now. But I'll present my work a little bit later down the road. So my mom just wanted to apologize, maybe, and that she couldn't make it to the presentation. And I don't know if you, Corey, want to say something, or I can say something about the works.
And why don't you go ahead and say something about your mother's work? It would help us out a lot.
All right. Well, on this kind of series, this piece is called Materialization, and it's kind of for me, it's kind of like a birth. It's kind of the source of a birth. Everything comes from a point and then comes out and unravels. It's a really kind of Zen piece, in my opinion. And she's a master at really working the thickness of cast glass to really squeeze out the most in the hues of the glass, and
Yes.
get kind of that gradient of color.
Yeah, she's definitely a master of casting, and we've been showing her for years at the gallery, and many of you have seen her work in different forms and shapes, and she's extremely popular and hard to get. Sometimes we ask your mother for work and it doesn't happen, so I'm glad we're able to show some of her work in this presentation. And thank you so much for speaking for your mom. We'll be back to you in no time.
Yeah, catch up a little bit.
Jenny Pullman and Sabrina Knowles, I don't think they're here with us today. Many of you are familiar with their work, heavily inspired by their world travel. They do the hanging, can't think of the name of the word at the moment, but hanging pieces on the walls of the multiple glass pieces in mixed media. This particular piece is about form and about individuals. It is an amazing piece. This is from their studio, just recently completed. And they also use photo transfer onto glass. So you'll see some of their work on the GlassArtFair site, showing a variety of their talent. So make sure to check out their artwork, and we definitely are honored to have them in our family. Steve, I know I saw you a bit ago. Will you jump in and join us? There you are.
Yes. Hello?
We can hear you.
Hello, everybody. It's cocktail hour here in France. I'd like to toast you all with a nice glass of French red wine and tell you a little bit about myself and my work. I came to glass 20 years into my career. I originally worked in wood and bronze, and my work is documentary and narrative, and each piece is about a particular subject, and I try to delve into their life and their work, mostly about artists, but also about many other kinds of people. This particular piece is about Ai Weiwei, and it was the first piece that I did that involved holograms. And when Ai Weiwei first kind of burst onto the scene, he was entrapped in China by an inability to regain his passport. And therefore, I used the idea of the hologram behind a piece of glass to show that this was an artist who could not leave where he was. He has since regained his passport, left the country, and now lives in Germany most of the time. The three descending images of him from the cast glass vase up on top through the red and the blue are significant as part of a photograph that he did where he dropped a 6th century Han Dynasty vase, and the photographs show the descent of the vase to it breaking on the ground. My work is mixed media. It's a combination of sandblasted carved glass and cast glass, and the two images of Ai Weiwei facing left and right are based on a drawing that I did of him, and it shows his combination of Eastern and Western culture in his work. I do a lot of commissions, and I'm very much open to them. And my work is generally quite large, but I am open to doing smaller pieces if people are interested. And I would like to say also to thank Aaron and the Habatat group for putting this exhibition together and including me. And I would also like to say that mark your calendars for the 21st of November, where I will be doing a Zoom presentation with several surprises. So thank you again. Nice to see all my artist friends and many of the collectors also. So y'all take care. And we're in lockdown as of last night here in France.
Wow.
So it's going to be a quiet month.
Thank you, Steve. Be safe, and thank you for sharing, and see you real soon. Cheers. Marvin Lepofsky, a legend in the contemporary glass art world with both positive and negative reviews, but you can't deny his talent. Marvin's work, they still have some of his work in the studio and through his estate. So there's a variety of options to get a peek of this very historic artist who's been a teacher to many. Some of his work is very easy to look at. Some of it's kind of challenging, but there's always a piece for everybody. So feel free to contact me if you're looking for a historic piece of a legendary artist. Lucy Lyon, Lucy, are you here? I thought I saw you earlier. Will you unmute yourself and join us, please? If you're not here, I will take over for you, but I could have sworn I saw you earlier. There you are.
Can you see me? Can
Yep,
you hear
welcome,
me?
welcome. Yes, we can definitely see and hear you. Welcome. Thank you for being here.
Yeah. So thanks, Aaron, for doing this. It's really good. It seems like the work is fantastic, and it's so nice to see all the artists. And thank you, AACG, for coming. So this is a piece that's, this was a few years ago. It was based, I did this based on a life sculpture. I did it in a life sculpting group. And the bed is made out of, it's cast glass. The whole thing is cast glass. And it's called, what is it called? It's called the edge of sleep, which is the moment right before you fall asleep. You know, when you're reading your book and you just let it fall off to the side and you're about to sleep. So that's the story. And I've got a few other works in the show. They come from various periods, and I hope you enjoy them.
That's a good point. With the pandemic here, we have artworks from the past and today. Some artists were motivated to work, some of them were not, but we're glad to have them in this presentation. And this is a larger piece of Lucy's work, and there's some other pieces go on the website that she mentioned. We're also working on a few commissions with Lucy at this time. So thank you for Lucy for being here and being part of our family.
Thank you.
Janice Miltenberger. I don't think she's here, but if you are, speak up. Janice's work is heavily inspired by nature. She pushes the boundaries of the material, focused on lamp working. Studied under Richard Marquis. She really creates large sculptures that you feel would be so delicate, but once you have it installed, and the transportation process she has is professional, so it's not an issue to get these pieces. The Imagine Museum in St. Petersburg, Florida has a piece similar to this, a standing form that was a lot of fun to set up when we had it at the gallery, and their team set it up there. And, you know, we all know she had a loss recently of her daughter, which was very, very sad, but we're supporting Janice and staying with her through this hard time, and being able to support her by showing what she creates and her love and her passion is an honor for us here at the gallery. And you can see the detail of the work close up. Heavily inspired, you see eggs, you see all kinds of symbolism of this beautiful, beautiful piece. Kathleen Mulcahy, we've been showing her for years at SOFA. Many of you know her and her work, and her late husband, Ron Desmond. Wall-mounted glass and steel, very peaceful works. She does a lot of commission work for people. We finished some for some recently for some people. Wink, wink, you know who you are. This is an interesting piece, mixing tones. Usually they're all similar, one color across the entire work, but this one almost has a darker tone and lighter tone. And it's a nice exploration into her, as her career advances. It's heavily inspired by water and her experiences kayaking and canoeing and exploring the world and in her own world. And now by herself, her work keeps developing. So we're honored to have her in this exhibition. Stefan and Zora, I know you guys were here earlier. Or if you guys are still here, would like you guys to join in. It would be great. If not, I will take over for you. If you jump in anytime. This work is by Stefan Paula, heavily inspired by science and math, and everything he creates in the cast glass form is just a monumental piece. You can Google.
Aaron, Zora is here. She's muted.
Aha.
Zora, you need to unmute yourself.
I just tried to press the space bar and hold it down, or unmute yourself. Maybe Marilee can help. There you go. You're
Do
unmuted.
you hear me?
We can. Thank you. Glad you're here.
Hi. Hello from Bratislava. I'm sorry. This is Stepan's piece, as you said.
Yes.
Stepan is not here because he went to our studio because we load in a big kiln with new molds. Stepan's work is more inspired by mathematics and geometry. And this piece calls oval, and he tries to make something like infinity. It means it turns all the time, but he's not here, he doesn't see.
As Zora said, they're very monumental. We have multiple pieces of Stefan's work at the gallery and in their studio. Masterpieces, legendary artists, and we're honored to have Stefan and Zora. Let me see if Zora's next. You are. I'll just throw you in right now. Join us and tell us about your work.
Thank you. Thank you, Aaron, for inviting us, because without you, I wouldn't learn how can I work with computer. I am not very familiar with computer.
You're doing great, doing great.
This is the piece which I call it Wind on the Sea. It means is about movement, about the water. It is what I am inspired all the time with nature and water and movement. Movement in the space, movement in water, movement around us. And
Yes.
it is a quite large scale piece, and is gray, purple cast glass.
Zora and Stefan are known to push the medium in scale and make substantial monumental works that are always museum quality. Thank you, Zora, for being here today.
Thank you very much for joining us.
And please look at their works and videos on the Glass Art Fair. Matthias, we're here. We're back to you. Join us.
Thank you. I just want to start by saying thank you to AACG, and of course to you and the Habatat family. It's such an honor to be here with you guys. And I don't know much of the glass community here personally, but I feel like I know a lot of you from your works that I've been watching throughout the years. This is a piece called Melting Water, and a lot of the works you'll see on the fair are based on water, a nostalgia, I guess you could say, in these times. This is an outdoor shot. A lot of my work kind of plays with the tension of the geometry versus organic. I really like that. And I mean, obviously, glass is one of the few materials that can really portray, you know, water and how it moves, and it's constantly moving. So I tried to find like peace somehow. It's like you can keep watching or looking at water flow. It's mesmerizing and hypnotic. And I feel like with glass, you can kind of do that because every time light hits it, it's ever changing.
Right.
So I hope you enjoy these pieces. And,
they are beautiful.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're most welcome. They're heavily inspired. You can totally see you interpreting water into your own medium. And viewing this work from all sides is why I included this outdoor picture, is the way it changes as if water would if crossing past a rock or, you know, a different underwater feature. Thank you, Matthias.
It's interesting in this piece too. Just wanted to say this last thing. If you turn it around, I don't have a photo of it, unfortunately, but I'll maybe post one if I can, that you can actually see also the flip side of it, where the water has eroded, which is an interesting part of it as well. So if you were to take away the water and you turn it around, you can see the crevice or the the hole that the water left. So that's just another play on it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. No worries. All right. David Ricci, a UK artist, very subtle humor in his work. Many of the glass shows we've done for the last few years, he's visited us at our international. He's sent in work for SOFA every year. We usually sell a piece or two of his every year, and people just enjoy the subtle humor and the emotion. His pieces called anger or, you know, confusion, they just really tie into the emotions of the nature of human beings. And I check out his work on Glass 48, and I'd love to be able to connect you with him anytime, because everybody's so accessible in this era of Zoom that you're able to talk with artists in the Habatat family anytime. Colin, I know you were here. Are you here early? Are you here now?
Yeah, I'm here, yeah.
Great. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, well, thanks for having me. And hello, everybody from England. This is one of my pieces in optical glass, and mostly I work from forms that I find. So it's either things that I find in my everyday life, or when I'm traveling, when we used to be able to travel. I'll find something, and I use silicone, so that it's quite common for me to be away somewhere and I find something, it might be a piece of rock or vegetation or a form that I really like. And so I go off to find a builder's merchants and buy some silicone, and I just use regular builder's silicone, and I can make a very quick mold. It's best if it's somewhere discreet, because it's a kind of a weird looking process and people really don't know what I'm doing. And then I can take it back to my studio and use it to develop a piece. So this was these amazing plants that I found in a national, like a national park in the north of Tenerife in the Canary Islands a couple of years ago, or last year even. And I was able to mold them and bring them back and develop this piece from them. And it's called Casa Forestal, which is the name of the walk that I was on. It's like a trek in the mountains. And because I use optical glass, because I can play with both the form itself as a positive form, although in fact it's cast in negative, but you also see a reflection of the form. So you get this sort of both an illusion of the form and the reality of it in one piece. And because of that kind of total internal refraction that takes place, the piece becomes very kinetic. So the piece itself doesn't move, but as you move around it, what you see inside it changes dramatically. It goes from completely transparent to a full reflection of the form.
Yeah, it is a beautiful piece. Usually when we get these pieces in the gallery, they disappear very fast. And so thank you, Colin, for being part of the show and sharing your work and talking with us today. Kate Rhodes, I saw you trying to join. Are you here? If not, I will speak for you. Kate's work is heavily inspired by the ocean and by the sea form. She does all her work via beading, and then she meticulously puts them all together with wire. And they create beautiful, beautiful wall installations, and they are stunning once they are installed on a wall in your home, all wall-mounted works. She does some other works. You're going to see smaller objects. There'd be kind of things you would discover on a beach in a way if the beach produced art. And we're honored to have her in this family, on our Habatat family, and we've done really well with her work, and we're going to continue our efforts to show her and show off her career. Richard Royal, another legendary artist, has been part of the Habatat family for years. We show him at SOFA every single year. Work is about intertwining. It's about relationships. You know, you can, if you follow his work over his career, you've started off with one object, and then another piece became attached and attached and attached, your kids, your family, your friends. And so this is his interpretation of that kind of relationship. He makes these works out of blown glass or cast glass, and some of them are all similar in color and some are variety, and they're very important to the contemporary glass art world. He is a legacy, and we're honored to have him. Ginny Ruffner. So interesting story is we planned to show with Ginny Ruffner early on in the year, but as the pandemic came down, everything got kind of put on hold. So this is our first exposure to a body of work of Ginny's. She's based out of Seattle and has been obviously creating artwork for lampwork art for a long time. And so this is the first chance to see some of that work of this upcoming exhibition we have planned. So please explore, please let us know your thoughts about Ginny's work, as we're excited about it and looking forward to bringing this exhibition to fruition. Tom Ryder. Tom, are you here?
I am here.
All right. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. It's amazing to be part of this and see all of these just unbelievable artists that I've followed along with for so long. Yeah, I'm happy to be here. I think you guys are looking at my piece River.
Yep.
I'm mostly interested in the idea of the invisible. I like to make some personal visualizations of different invisible forces or phenomena. What does sound look like? What does electricity, what does energy in general look like? what does the energy in between two people look like? I think it gives us kind of an avenue to make all kinds of different shapes and forms. And I've started to kind of think a little bit more about like the energy between yourself, the earth, the environment, the situations that we're all in. People have meridians, the earth has meridians, there's meridians in astronomy. I think that all of these things are a kind of a way of connecting ourselves to the world, ourselves to the people around us. These are all flame worked borosilicate rods to make some larger scale pieces. This piece River is about 5.5 feet long or wide as you're looking at it here. I just think that glass is just intrinsically beautiful, as we've seen throughout today. There's so many different ways of using it, and I try to kind of simplify it as much as possible by using that raw material for flame working, just that rod, and manipulating it as little as possible. But I just think that we have this advantage with starting by working with glass primarily. So I just think everything has an energy, and we need to kind of think about the way that we are putting this energy out into the world. How does the energy of this show that we're putting on right now, how are people going to feel as they see it? And I think that what we're doing here and in these strange times, putting out our ideas and our artwork is such an important thing to have the whole world kind of interact with. And I'm really just happy to be really happy to be part of this show, and happy that you've invited me here, Aaron. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tom. I appreciate it. We have some more examples of Tom's work on the Glass Art Fair website, so please enjoy, and we look forward to your thoughts. Davide, are you still around? I would love to have you talk about your work.
Here, buddy.
All right, great to see you. Thank you for being here, hanging out with us. I got a beautiful
thank you for inviting me. Thank you for to be here. I miss you. I miss everybody from Habatat and USA also.
Right.
Yeah. And then
we got a beautiful work of Davide's in the gallery on display. We have a variety of examples of his work, his beautiful blown and carved objects. Davide is a master of the material, and you don't really need, he did some demonstrations for us recently during our year before last Glass International show. The detail on these work you don't really see unless you're up close personal, Davide. There's details up on the site.
Yeah. I said that every time. So when the people saw my piece, or the first thing for me is you need to touch. If you don't touch my piece, you can't understand the soul from my piece. You know?
Yeah, you need to actually physically touch it.
Yeah. See, because my piece is physical piece, and for make those, I use a lot of technique, a lot of Marlena, a lot of cane, a lot of patience, and a lot of love.
I can believe it. Yes. Well, thank you, Davide. And like I said,
thank you for to be here.
You're most welcome. There's more work to see seen of Davide's on the GlassArtFair.com, and we have a variety of options of Davide's amazing talent. And thank you again, Davide. Mary Schaffer, talked to her recently. She has a book coming out, and we scheduled a talk with her in December when her book actually comes out to the public through Schiffer Publishing. A very amazing artist, long historic career. This is a yellow wall hanging piece. She's really well known for this body of work, as long as her tools that hang up on the wall that are all slumped, and her process is her own in many museums across the country. And we thank Mary for being part of the show.
Are you not gonna let me talk?
Oh, I didn't even know you were here. Join us, Mary. Jump in here. Beautiful background, by the way.
Thank you. Oh, well, that's my book cover.
Right.
Background. Anyhow, it is really great to see everybody. Stefan, I see you on the couch over there. And I love the fact, and some of you know I have face blindness. For me, it's really great to see everybody's face with their name next to it.
Right.
So I know who you are. But anyhow, this series comes from I call it the hanging series, which is sort of weird, but it comes from my love of windows and window light, because there was a painter. So window light, the way light reflects off people and the way it looks in a room when the outside is getting dark. When night is coming, in other words, the outside getting dark. Okay, that sounds weird. When it's turning evening and the windows look suspended in air because there's more light outside than in the room, and they sort of glow in a great way. So that's the inspiration for these pieces. But of course, I love slumping, which is bending, which is working with gravity and natural forces. And you know, Aaron, I could talk a long time. I think you just better stop me here.
Well, thank you, Mary. We'll have a talk with Mary when her book is coming out. So we're honored to have you, and thanks for jumping in. I appreciate it.
Thanks.
Raven Sky River, who I don't believe is here, and you can always correct me like Mary did. Years of experience creating beautiful life forms inspired by the aquatic, crabs and turtles and whales. I could go on, clams. And if you've seen him or Googled his name, it's my favorite thing to walk up to new collectors who admire the work and just show them on my phone, like the work of Raven and his talent. Amazing sculptures, capturing life, the aquatic life. And his work is in museums, and everybody needs to copy one of his pieces because we believe in him at the gallery, and we just want to respect his talent. I've seen him blow the turtles live in Pittsburgh in my day, and just the way his technique has come together, and I'm honored to have him in the show. Our buddy Paul Stankard, a legendary artist. We did a legendary talk by Paul recently through the Habatat Now, and it was a great to experience Paul. He's heavily inspired. He told me he's not an artist, he's a poet, and he is heavily inspired by Emily Dickinson and a few other artists that really inspire him to create these beautiful orbs. And he's getting up there in age, and I know he's making the best work of his career right now because he's working by himself. In the past, he's had people with him that handled things, that did things for him, and he has helpers still, family-wise. But you know, there's nobody better. And if you're want a paperweight by the best paperweight maker in the world, who just so happens to look like Santa Claus, Paul Stankard's your guy. Tim and Kathleen Elliott. Tim, are you here?
I'm here. How you doing,
All right. Good. Join us. Tell us about your work.
Thank you, Al. This is with Kathleen Elliott, and two of us wanted to do something called The Forest, which you're seeing there. And you know, the reason I work in endless mirrors is because to me, we are creating a space that never existed in time to anyone else before. So inside that space, we can make it whatever we wish. And they say that if you see past 13 images in an endless mirror, you are seeing into the next world. And in mine, you see about 16 images in. So you see the next world, but it's indistinct. You're not sure what it is. So I allow faith to interpret what that next world might be. Are you here, Kathleen?
I am here.
Hey, how you doing, lady?
I'm doing just fine. Thank you. Thank you, Aaron. Thanks for everybody for being here.
Beautiful collaboration, guys, and thank you so much for sharing it. See some other Tim's work, and Kathleen will be adding some work soon to the GlassArtFair site, and thank you both for being part of this.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. Thank you, Aaron.
Most welcome. Michael Taylor, are you here, Michael, with Debbie, by chance? Michael's, this is a wall-mounted piece by Michael Taylor. You know, he's a mathematician and a teacher, and he creates these beautiful geometric artworks. And many of you have known him. He's created works on all scale and sizes over time. And it's just impressive work. We have a huge, I think, 10-foot piece at the gallery installed by Michael, making them very impressive and pushing the medium beyond. He makes smaller pieces as well. We had some of it at SOFA last year, and I'm sure the year before. But we're honored to have Michael in our Habatat family. And if you like this kind of work, this geometric kind of stuff, please check him out on GlassArtFair. Winnie, are you around? I saw you earlier. I'd love for you to join us.
Here, I'm here.
All right, great. Please tell us about your work.
Well, thank you. It's fantastic, Aaron, that you're doing this with the whole Habatat family, because I'm having square eyes now almost. I think all the people have. There's so many things digital now, but it's great to see this. So this is one of my optical glass pieces. I work in optical glass already for 30 plus years. And this is in the gallery in Habatat. And you can basically say that there are two lines in my optical glass pieces. This is one, it's called Touching the Void. It's more about the round pieces, the big illusion that you think that it's almost nothing. It could be a paper shell or a stainless steel shell, but it's really a solid, two solid pieces. They belong together. They're the same size. And for a 48, glass 48, I made a few videos to show you around my studio here in Holland. And also to tell you about a lot of the works that are in the gallery now, also about this work. So please go to that site as well. And well, you know, I can talk forever, but it's pretty late, I think. Here it's almost 8 o'clock in the evening.
Gotcha.
And so thank you very much. And it was fantastic to see everybody, really great. So thanks, Aaron, and everybody.
Thank you, Winnie. I appreciate you being here and some beautiful, beautiful things. Stephanie, are you about? I will talk about your work if you're not here.
Yes, I'm here.
Great.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, well, it's my pleasure. And Aaron, you make this whole thing seem so seamless, but I know you worked really hard. You're doing a great job. And
thank you.
It's so awesome to see all the other artists and the collectors. Really enjoying it. So most of my work is narrative. I've been working with issues about women artists actually since I was in college. And this particular piece is called Tertiary Colors, and it is about 3 women artists. It's Alice Neal, Florine Sedemeyer, and Elaine de Kooning, going from left to right. When I created this piece, I sculpted each of these women artists, and then I was looking for some sort of, looking through ephemera and narrative books about them to find some imagery from inside their studio, like a chair or some kind of setting, some kind of domestic object. And then, but what I found was they had each done a seated self-portrait. So below, I did a copy of each of their own seated self-portraits based from actual art history. So these are very famous women artists, but most people cannot even name 3 or 4 women artists from the 20th century. So this is something that I've been championing for a long time with my work. These are all hand sculpted out of glass and then painted with enamels. And believe it or not, I still have some Paradise paint, but I also use Rouchet. And then they are cast into the sand casting.
Thank you, Stephanie.
I'm thrilled to be here. Thank you, Aaron, so much. And I'm just tickled to see all the collectors that are here and nice to see their faces. It's been a year. And so thank you again for all of this.
Thank you, Stephanie. There's other works of Stephanie's on the GlassArtFair site. Beautiful, beautiful things and beautiful colors. If you flip the pieces on the back, you have a whole different view. So please definitely take a look. Jen, are you around? I think I saw you earlier. Are you here? Join us and unmute yourself, please.
Hello?
There you are. Welcome, welcome. We don't see you, but we hear you.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
No worries. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Jen. I'm Jen Violet. My work is greatly inspired by the natural world. I do a lot of gardening and I take a lot of walks in the woods. This piece right here is called Love Note. It's all hot sculpted glass. All of my pieces are hot sculpted glass. So I'm making them all, gathering up glass out of the furnace and actually hand sculpting these pieces using different shears and metal tools and that sort of thing. You know, I have a lot of birds that nest outside my studio. My studio is in an old barn, and I have a birdhouse is kind of mounted on the outside of my studio. And, you know, it's kind of exciting to see, you know, which birds nest in different homes each year. And so I'm just really inspired by, you know, being outdoors and in nature. And I love trying to recreate those little kind of vignettes with my work in the hot shop, and, you know, challenging myself to, you know, pick the right colors that, that, you know, go along with the natural world. Yeah, I'm just really excited to be part of this exhibit, and thank you, Erin and AACG for having me.
Most welcome. Jen has a variety of sizes and different views of her objects on the Glass Art Fair site. So there's it's a peaceful work, very serene, and thank you, Jen, for being part of this.
Thanks, Erin.
Most welcome. Legendary artist Vyacheslav Sigler creates these cast glass forms. He has since passed, and his daughter represents the father's artworks. These particular ones are on the secondary market. They are from the Annie and Michael Belkin collection. You'll see 3 of them on the site. A very rare opportunity to get such historic work. Very, very important to the contemporary glass art world. John and Kate, are you guys around? I know you guys are planning on joining. We had an amazing turnout of artists today. I'm so grateful for all of you being here. This is the gimbal work that was made by John and Kate. Oh, good. You guys are here. I hear you.
I just had to unmute us.
Okay, good. Join us. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, so we're very excited with this new body of work. We've got some that are in progress right now, as well as the ones that are up here. It's been for those of you who have known our work for a long time, it may be a big transition from what you've seen in the past, but it's very exciting for us because it combines light, layering of the glass, motion. It brings together a lot of different things.
We're looking at the energy inside of those pieces, viewing into through the layers to look at what might be the core of something.
And it's also, we ditto what everyone said about it's very strange not being in Chicago this year. We've been going to SOFA, I think, as long as Richard and Tommy, so since like 1987. So this morning when it was cold and we were outside, I was like, this feels like SOFA weather.
Well, thank you guys. This work is at the gallery. It moves around like a gimbal, and it has all different sides, and some of them are electric, and they light from being plugged in, and natural, and a light hitting them from the top can also make them really pop. Thank you guys for being part of the show, and make sure to check out their work on the Glass Art Fair. I do have a correction. Thanks to Harold and Myra Weiss, they sent me that this piece was not by Sigler. It is by Francek Wiesner, and I apologize for that. I must have mixed the 2 up. Janusz, are you here today, Janusz? We had a talk with Janusz recently about his life and career, talking about his inspiration. He works with cast glass and then paints on the rear side of these works. They are an amazing achievement to see in real life, and he has a variety based upon different experience of it in his life. And what's fun about his work is there's small subtleties. On the front of this piece, you can see the glass is full. On the back, things have changed rather quickly, and the experience in the beach has passed, and this drink has been enjoyed. So we have a variety of his work on the Glass Art Fair site. There's also an artsy presentation of his work, and we did a Zoom meeting with him recently, so we'll be able to post that up for you guys to enjoy and experience Janusz's work. Vivian Wang, one of our best sellers at Habatat. We've had a long career since 2012, sharing a partnership with her. We just had 3 of her pieces go on sale online 2 days ago for her newest series of City Kids, and all 3 sold in 1 day. So we're honestly grateful to have Vivian in our Habatat family, and we have 2 City Kids left that are available on the Glass Art Fair site, along with some larger sculptures. And I'm eager to see what she creates next. She doesn't do Zoom videos and she doesn't do Zoom, but I'm trying my best to get her in the digital world. And there's the other piece she created that is available. Trina, are you around still? I saw you recently on the Zoom. Will you unmute yourself and join us?
I'm here.
Oh, great. Tell us about
Can you
your
guys hear me
bunnies.
okay?
Yep, clear.
Cool. So I'm Trina. Well, Katerina is my name, but everyone calls me Trina. And I'm joining you guys from my cold studio in snowy Boston. So I have 3 pieces in the show, and included here is, I think this one's titled Glimpse, and you can probably see them on my desk behind me. And I'm honored to be a part of the show with all of the amazing artists. So thank you guys for putting it together.
You're most welcome. I enjoyed seeing these works, and we had 3 of them on display in the Glass Art Fair, and they all sold immediately. So if these works touch you and you feel like you'd want one, contact us right away. They're priced very well, and they show off Trina's talent, who will also be part of our exhibition, year-long exhibition next year. I'm not sure which month is yours, but I'm looking forward to it. Thank you again for being here.
Thank you, guys.
Leah and Stephen, I know you guys are around.
Hi, here we are.
Great, thanks for staying
Hello,
with us.
Aaron. Hello, everyone.
Hi, everybody. Aaron, you rock.
Thank
I
you
just
so
got to
much.
say it.
I'm trying my best.
You totally rock, man. We're really glad to be here. And thanks everybody for hanging in until we got to the W's.
Right.
This is a detail from a piece that is called Shadows. It's a small series that we did, I don't know, a few years ago. There we go. And it's quite tall. And the story of this piece is that Steve and I were in Aspen on a visit, and we were walking into a parking garage right when the sun was, right behind us, very low. And we cast these really, really long shadows that just stopped us in our tracks. And so we stood there in the entrance of the parking garage, taking photographs of ourselves, which was endlessly fascinating to us. And then we brought them home, and we decided to make sculptures out of them. And, what they are for us is a record of that moment together and this idea of planting our shadows onto the earth. And they're rather romantic pieces. They're also about making a conversation. And the thing that became very interesting about them when we finished casting them and we started to set them is that just by turning them in very small increments, centimeters, the whole feeling of them changes, and they become even more interesting. And so they were really, really great to make. And they make a really beautiful statement. They're about 37 inches tall. And they also, for me in particular, reference my favorite artist, who is Giacometti. And I believe that at that moment, we were seeing much the way he was seeing when he was creating the amazing walking figures. So it was a really pleasurable feeling to sort of connect across the universe and energy and time and all of that with Alberto. So please hang in there with us, visit the site, and thank you so much for everybody for being here. And hello, all my beloveds.
Tip of the hat to Aaron.
I love the hat. Tip back, my friend. Very good. Also, check out Leah's work, the Storm series. There's 2 works available on the site, and Leah recently completed, for those of you who don't know, the Tango series commissions, and we're looking forward to her Wind series next. So she's quite busy. And thank you, Stephen, also for being part of our world here at Habatat. Thank you, guys.
Indeed.
Clickety click. And then we got to John Wood. John, are you around?
I am still. W's, here we are.
Gotcha. Welcome. Join us.
2 things I'd say. One is there's certain this whole 2 hours is certainly a lesson in humility as far as I'm concerned with the other artists. But the second thing I promised myself I would do, I know this is an international audience, but we in the United States are 3 days away from either making history or reversing history. And so my whole message to everybody is, please, if you can, get out and vote. This is the instrument. This particular piece is called Big No. 2 Pencil. And if you had it, you could vote with it. And it's appropriate to the task at hand. It's about 5 feet in dimensions. This is not the best shot of it. There's a better shot. But this is when it was being photographed. I don't know whether Aaron can put up the one with me sitting on it, but it's made from Carrara marble. And this is my son and myself, starting with a block of Carrara marble. It's probably 1,000 pounds, maybe 800. And it ended up at about 500. So it has cast glass on both ends and the Carrara marble. I have a real intrinsic appreciation for anybody that's worked with stone. It's not easy either. So anyway, vote, big #2 pencil. If you get a chance, take a look at it on the site. And wish us all well at the US of A.
Thank you, John, so much. John has some other works available on the Glass Art Fair site, heavily inspired by the masters of cast glass. Amazing. Thank you, John. Hiroshi Amano from Japan, inspired by obviously the history of Japan and the aquatic. Many of you know his works with the bowls and the bunny and the fish. He experiments with birds as well. Beautiful work. This is in his studio in Japan. Feel free to see the Glass Art Fair site for more works by Hiroshi. Brent Key Young. This is a giant installation done by Brent that's currently in the gallery. Multiple pieces depicting a mountainscape. I can't tell you how long Brent and I have talked on the phone about this piece before it finally came to fruition. A masterpiece, an artist who pushes Borsilicate glass to the limit. Multiple pieces that assemble with little instruction to create the cavern across the entire piece. Museum quality. And this brings us to our final artist in the exhibition, Tutsinski. There's works here directly from the artist and the resale collection, the Belkin collection, a very beautiful artwork. There was some videos recently done by other galleries talking about her process. It was amazing to see of the slumping of her kilns. She's able to open up the kilns and make sure the slumping is right and close them back down during the process to create these beautiful filet de verre pieces. A historic work often in high demand. Again, we're doing a Q&A tomorrow. It should be a little bit shorter than this for the Habatat Now. If you want to join us and ask questions about the piece or speak to some of the artists, it should be a lot less formal. Ferd and Corey and some of the artists will be there with us tomorrow to have a dialogue. So thank you again for joining us. I appreciate it. It went a little longer than I thought, but I think the historic aspect of having all this dialogue recorded for the history of time is well worth it. And if you have any questions about the Glass Art Fair, any works on it, contact myself or Regina or Corey or anybody. We're here to help. And thank you everybody today, clients, AACG members, artists alike. Thank you so much for joining us.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Hi, everybody.
I see.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
To everybody
much.
from
Bye.
AACG.
Thank you guys. Don't forget your
Bye,
password
Sue.
is AACG on Glass Art Fair for today only.
So much.
AACG.
Vote,
Bye,
vote.
bye.
Be well.
Very, very nice.
Bye,
Thank you,
everyone.
Marilee. That was
Thank you
great.
so
Very
much
good,
for all
Marilee.
the participation. This was great.
Hey,
Have a
Jack,
nice
how
day
are
and
you?
stay
Be
safe.
well,
Good, good,
everybody.
Steve. Thank you. So